game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Bucs fans were there too. The
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Buccateers. Happy Thanksgiving Thursday. Howdy, hey, howdy, ho. How the hell are you? We got some great football on today on this beautiful Thursday. It's going to be fantastic. We got some great NFL and college ball to go over. We're going to get our teeth into all that before we get into our Thanksgiving meals later. We got the great J-Lo in the house right by our side here, our great co-host here on the Buccateers, and you guys are watching us live right now on Buccateers YouTube or on Bucs Life LLC Facebook page. So go over to either of those and be sure to stay with us until the top of the hour as we're dissecting Bucs Colts and all the Thanksgiving NFL and college football action. And we got a special guest with the Bucs background and a Colts heart. We got Joey Nips from the Cleve and Me podcast, so we're going to bring him in here in a minute. But first and foremost, J-Lo, happy Thanksgiving, brother. Hope you have a blessed day with you and yours. What are your plans for today, my friend?
Thanks, Tones. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Going to pick both my daughters up in a little bit, one at a time, and then I'll be having Thanksgiving dinner at Mom's house. She's cooking, and I got responsible for the desserts and the booze.
You got the good stuff. That's what I call it. You got the precious cargo. There we go, man. The booze, the dessert. I know you're a man with a plan, so you'll do a great job of that, brother. But happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone over there has a great day today, watching football, eating food, and being with friends and family. Joey, how the hell are you, brother? AEW last night, Bucs Colts this weekend, wedding this weekend. We got a jam-packed one.
Yeah, I mean, my team's at home this weekend, as I know I'm a minority member on this show, but I got Bucs stuff all around me here. I mean, I had to put the shades on because it's distracting me in all these different ways. We got Josh Freeman on one wall, Cadillac on one. I don't know what's going on here.
Is there some white residue on the Josh Freeman one?
I don't know what's on it's peeling a little bit at the top, so you can tell that one's been up a while. But I'm ready for it. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, J-Lo especially, but everybody listening. I'm rooting for my Colts this weekend. Don't get it twisted, Bucs fans. But we started our weekend with a little wrestling last night, went to AEW, and that's where our crap talking started. So we're going to continue that into Sunday as we head to Indianapolis. I can't wait.
And this is one of those matchups that have been increasing seemingly. J-Lo and I talked about it on Tuesday's show that these teams, for being AFC, for being NFC, they're playing a lot lately, and this marks the fourth time since the 2019 season that these two teams have faced off, one being preseason. This will be the third being regular season. Maybe there's a trend in the near future that we might meet in the Super Bowl. How the hell would that be? That'd be pretty wild. Joey, what say you? If there was ever a Bucs Colts Super Bowl, when the Bucs win, how long would you hide for?
Well, it's very hard to hide from you, as you would definitely let me know about it. So, listen, I've lost 2 in a row here. I had a lead in the Jacoby Brissett game where Shaq Leonard, I just want to send my condolences. Love you, Shaq, but injuries riddled him. But he did have a huge pick six, if people remember, in that Tampa game where you guys ended up coming back and winning. Okay, then we fast forwarded a few years. Carson Wentz and the boys, we have a 24-14 lead at halftime. Shaq Leonard also strips Chris Godwin in the first quarter. Then we lose that one against Tom Brady. Leonard Fournette runs a nice one at the end to seal it. So Big Bro here cannot lose 3 in a row. But you talk Super Bowl, that would be something where we have a party, but we'd have to be in different floors of the house. I think we'd have to go 1 floor Colts, 1 floor Bucs, because that would be something where I don't think our heartstrings could take it, my man.
Yeah, that would be something wild, and let's hope, honestly, I mean, that'd be cool, but let's hope it doesn't happen. I think there'd be some fireworks going on. J-Lo, as Bucks Life says, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, Bucks Life. We appreciate you guys hosting us on the Facebook platform and giving us a Facebook page to do some great work on. J-Lo, Bucks Colts. What are your feelings, man, going into this one? I know we talked a little bit Tuesday. Has anything changed since Tuesday? How you feeling about this one? How you faring? Kenny Barrett's joining us. Thanks a lot, KB. He goes, if we lose this one, it's GG's to the season in the Bulls era. That is correct, KB. I firmly believe the Bucks season is on the line this week. I agree with you, brother. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, KB. I hope you have a blessed one with you and yours, brother, doing anything that you guys like to do today. But J-Lo, I think Kenny's got a point. I think if the Bucks lose this one, it's not only goodbye to this season, but pretty much goodbye to Todd Bowles. Because you look at the Bucks right now, you're 4-6. You got to get into the playoffs probably by winning 5 of the last 7 games out there, right? So if you lose this one against the Colts, I don't really see them going 5-1 in the last 6 down the stretch. So J-Lo, I don't know if you're thinking different, but to me, this is season on the line, and I know it's NFC versus AFC, but we really can't afford a second losing streak here in the season and drop 2 in a row after this one.
It's a very predictable situation right now coming up, bearing on injuries. We're pretty much going in without Jamel Dean, Levante David. Jeremy Fowler reported that it would be a miracle for him to play on Sunday, so count him out. Devin White looking like he got his little foot boo-boo, whatever. It wouldn't really hurt my feelings because he hasn't done shit anyway. Like I said, I mean, Bowles has to get it together. And you know what? What's such about Todd Bowles is that he waits for injuries to happen to play the right players on the field. Not that Levante David doesn't belong on the field. He's been our best defender besides Antoine Winfield Jr. and Vita Vea. But then, you know, you got Devin White, who I feel like just needs to go on the bench and learn how to cover, learn how to play better on defense, truthfully. I'm ready for Savasi Dennis to go in there, see what he's got. Luckily, we're going up against Uncle Rico, a.k.a. Gardner Minshew, who can light it up and get away from the sets as well. So it'll be fun, intriguing. I feel like the offense is coming together. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Because obviously we're going to count on our offense to really get some points on the board to give us a chance to win games. You know, I'm not expecting a blowout, but I expect a good, fun football game between both teams. Because, like I said, you know, Jonathan Taylor's a beast. The dude is a stud. Good for the Colts to re-sign him.
What's nice is, although the Colts, you know, Taylor's a monster, right? Their best offensive player, probably one of the best, if not the best, running back in the league. That is one nice thing for the Bucks this matchup. The Colts' strengths offensively match up with the Bucks' strengths defensively, in my opinion.
Agreed. Can't disagree on that. But as far as Bowles goes, even if he drops this one, we got the Saints and Falcons coming up, and if the Saints drop another game, then we're pretty much a game behind, but we don't want to do that. Rather be in a 3-way tie. You know, Bucs fans want Bowles gone, but at the same time, you know,
we got to play to win. You know, I know a lot of people want him gone, but you know, you play to win these games. The Bucs have to take control, and we don't sit on the couch all off season eating bonbons and ho-hos and, you know, prepping for NFL draft coverage. What is it? Not even December yet. So, J-Lo, I agree with your synopsis on that behalf.
Like I said, I mean, Bowles needs to wake up and call his best defensive games coming up because his job is on the line, I feel like. And he needs to put the right players out there. Like, yeah, Diaby needs to be out there more than JTS. You know,
it's crazy that JTS actually has the Bucs' best win rate this season in terms of pass rushing.
That's true, but however, you got to get to the quarterback. And so far, Yaya's been the one getting to him. Or Vita Vea. You know, I think Elijah Canty, you know, ended up getting a shoulder injury last game, and then he ended up coming back. So hopefully that won't have any setbacks coming into this Sunday's game because I feel like we're going to need them. Because I feel like if you shut down the Colts' run, then you force Gardner Minshew to throw the football, and that's where we got these young DBs in here to step up, and we'll see what happens. Michael Pittman Jr., I feel he's underrated. He's a very good receiver. I liked him in college. And, of course, his dad played here in Tampa, beast mode. And at the end of the day, Bolt's going to call a good defensive game plan with what he's got. And
Yeah,
I think he can.
let's see if Bowles steps up. Let's see if he can deliver that big defensive game. We talked about it a little bit, but we have a comment about Minshew now. Before we bring in the great A-Cats, going to turn this one to Joey. Minstash should not win this game. Joey is a Colts guy who's watched every game. You've seen AR-15. You've seen Minshew. Hell, last year you had to deal with Sam Ellinger and company. Tell us your thoughts on what Minshew brings to the table, because coming into the year, a lot, I alluded to him as, the Walmart Baker Mayfield a little bit, and I think that he's played pretty well this year, though. I think both of these guys have done an adequate job in each of their respective spots, and I think Minshew has done just enough to help the Colts win some games. And, top of my head, they did beat Baltimore with Gardner Minshew in Baltimore. And, that was a really great game on his behalf. And over the past couple of weeks, it hasn't looked pretty offensively for the Colts, but he pulled out some W's. Carolina, New England. Minshew's racking up W's rather quickly, and I think the Colts found themselves a pretty damn good backup, if not probably the best backup in the NFL.
Yeah, listen, if you would have told me coming off of last year where it was a big struggle, obviously fired Frank Reich, which was a totally good move. Bring in Saturday, the Matt Ryan experiment goes bad. We start fresh with the AR-15 era, and he goes down, right? So you lose your quarterback. Jonathan Taylor's holding out before the season starts, and then Shaq Leonard ends up being waived during this last week. If you would have told me we were 5-5, I would be very, very pleased with that, and that's exactly what I am. The Steichen-Minshew combination went back to Philly. They rejoined here, obviously, in Indianapolis, and I can't figure out this team offensively. If you go back to a few weeks ago, we put up 38 points against Cleveland, one of the top-rated defenses historically over the first 10 weeks of football. Okay, then the following week, we put up over 30 points, I think against Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And then we went over 30 points against another opponent right before that game where we won. And then we had these two defensive games. Carolina and New England are no offenses you have to worry about, but our defense stepped up and didn't let them score touchdowns. So it is hard for me to even figure out this team offensively. But Minshew, I feel pretty good about. He has turned the football over a little bit this year. But for a backup quarterback, he's doing exactly what I expected him to do. He's having some good play and some not so good play. But at the end of the day, I trust him in Steichen coming off a bye week. The Bucs defense is banged up. I think Minshew's looking to recover from the last couple of weeks, even though they won. And I expect big things out of a bye week where Shane Steichen has done a great job coaching and leading this team to 5-5 with Minshew.
Yeah, and he has done a hell of a job in his first year as coach over there. As Neil joins us, our man Neil, what it do, Neil? Welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. Hope your day goes great. Is one of our classics. Neil is in the house. He's really joining us for a lot of these episodes, so we are appreciative and thankful for you, Neil. And Steppin' Peppin, our favorite Canadian, joins us. What's up? What up, Steppin' Peppin? I hope your day is going well up there in Canada. I don't know what the hell the weather's like in Canada this time of year, but hopefully you're enjoying yourself, staying warm, and having a great Thanksgiving up there, brother. We appreciate you from Canada, always making the show. Cats, happy Thanksgiving, brother. Didn't forget about you. How the hell are you? First of all, hope your holiday goes great today, tomorrow, whatever you're doing. And second of all, kind of want your reactions to Kenny B's comment here. There's just no way they beat the Jags and then sweep the division if they lose this game. 5-2 needs to be the record and need a little room for error if they win this game. I agree with KB there, Cats. To me, if the Bucs want to make the playoffs, they got to go 5-2, and you got to win this game. You can't go 5 out of 6. Or this Bucs team really hasn't showed us they could go 5 out of 6 to end the season. So we need this one, Cats. If we have any intentions of making the playoffs, this is turning into a must-win. What say you on KB's comments, Thanksgiving Day, etc.?
Yeah, I think we're down to the real must win now because when we went into Houston, I felt that was a must win. We didn't win it, but we got some help on the other in some other games that permitted us to stay alive. But now you're at the must win point because yeah, if you got to win 5 out of 7, it's a lot easier to win 5 out of 7 when you don't end up also having to do 5 out of 6. You know what I mean? So yes, they really. I mean, if you don't win it, yeah, technically you could still do it, but there would be nothing to lead me to believe that they could win 5 out of 6 when the best they've done was 3 out of 4, which was a very nice start to the season. Don't get me wrong, but it would be very difficult to win 5 of 6. As for the Jags game, I don't know. I mean, the Jags are a very good team. I don't like to say there's no way they could win a game, but yeah, that's a game that the Bucs will certainly be an underdog in, and they might be favored in a handful of these games coming up. If I'm not, I'm just guessing here, in a lot of these games, but that's one they will not be. So yeah, I would agree with what Kenny's saying.
Yeah, and Katz, you have to figure, like you said, we will be favored in at least a handful of these games. You'd have to assume that we'll be favored against both Carolina games, and at least when the Saints come to Tampa, I would imagine we're favored in that one. And you could probably throw a fourth in there as well, somewhere along the line. So, Katz, I agree with you. We're going to be favored in some of these games. You got to take advantage of the games you're favored in, and you got to grab the ball by the horns and win them, right?
That's absolutely right, and for the most, I feel we've done a decent job of that. The Houston game, I think we might have been a favorite in that game, although it was a very, gosh, I don't remember. If we were, it was mild, and we might have been an
We were two and
underdog.
a half point favorites, so we were favorites in that one, two and
We
a half
were.
points.
If we did that, if you played that game today, we would not be a favorite based on how the Texans have played. But yeah, that Atlanta game obviously is still the one that kind of really sticks in your craw a bit because the Falcons are not a good football team, not a good quarterback. It's not like C.J. Stroud. We know what he can do. We knew what he could do even before that game. But again, that's already done and passed. But yeah, obviously Gardner Minshew has done a very nice job for the Colts, stepping in for Anthony Richardson. I'd forgotten the name, and thank you for mentioning Shane Steichen because I could not remember the guy's name. I was thinking Jonathan Gannon. I had my former Eagle coordinators mixed up. He's with Arizona. Just realized that. He's done a very nice job holding down the fort. Regardless, they've gotten themselves a 5-5. They're definitely in the hunt after a terrible season last year. So I expect a very tough game on Sunday.
I couldn't agree more. It's going to be a battle. Speaking of battle, Stunna's making his way into battle. Stunna, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, brother. Hope all is well out there in Florida, and we'll let you handle this question. I don't need your score prediction yet, but Pep and Steppen says 32-21 Bucs. We kind of been saying this is a must win if we want to reach the playoffs. What say you on that, Stunna? Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Stunna?
Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Yeah, it's definitely a must win if we're gonna make a playoff run. But I don't know. I'm kind of leery. I think the Bucs will pull it out, but I think it'll be a tightly contested game. So I'm going with the Bucs 27, the Colts 24.
All right. Well, you did throw the score prediction in there. Anyway, I'll throw it down. We'll get ours in 27-24. I like it. At least you're on the winning side here. It's been a while since you've been on the Bucs winning side of things. As Pep and Steppen says, happy Thanksgiving, guys, from Canada. Yes, sir. Absolutely. He says my igloo is too cold. Well, grab some beer and grab some turkey. Buckle in today. We're about to get into the Thanksgiving games here in a little bit and go over all the good stuff you could be watching on your couch today. So we got Kyle Husted joining us on Facebook. Neil, hit that like button. Yes, for anybody watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. Please turn on the notifications so whenever we go live, you guys will get notified that we are live. And please hit that subscribe button today. We're almost at 300 subscribers on YouTube. It's really a fantastic thing. So please help out the show. We appreciate that greatly. Neil, as KB says, I agree, but the favorites other than Carolina be because of the 3-point home field advantage. Yeah, that's true, but that's part of how the cookie crumbles. J-Lo, we'll leave you with this comment. I swear if Bowles drops one to Carolina, I will never forgive him Cutter style, and I think that's the truth. If we lose these games to a Muttley Carolina team that looks half dead out there week in and week out, coached by an incompetent NFL head coach, and a really bad rookie quarterback thus far, J-Lo. I don't think that's forgivable for Todd Bowles. What say you?
Definitely. Nah, Carolina to me is the final straw. Like I said, this game, I know people are saying a must-win game, but if you can't beat a depleted team like Carolina, who's probably going to fire their head coach this year, he's going to be one and done because the
I think
owner.
his bags are packed already.
This is a very beat-up football team, which we can talk about next week, but just on the subject, that's my final straw. If you can't beat a team like Carolina, then to me, Bowles, you are done. Not even done head coaching. You'll be done being defensive coordinator because you cannot put together a defensive game plan to beat a rookie quarterback who's playing horrible. And thank God the Panthers took Bryce Young over CJ Stroud because Stroud's looking like a damn stud to me, if you ask. But however, yeah, to me, Panthers the final straw. I agree with Kim Barrett for sure that if he can't beat the Panthers, then that's a wrap, brother. Like I said, that to me is like, okay, hit the fire button like now. I wouldn't even wait till the season's over. Like I would hit the fire button now.
And it's funny because Panthers did beat the Texans as their only win, and then the Texans go on this sort of bugaboo type run. Katz, we'll give this one to you, and then we're going to get Joey's thoughts. Well, imagine if Bryce Young's only decent good game this year is against us. Katz, not to look forward to this Carolina game, but we'll address it with the comments. What say you on Bryce Young and if he has a good game against us? I mean, wouldn't shock me as the Bucs continue to let up a lot of yards and glorified performances against young and rookie quarterbacks.
Wouldn't shock me either, and I don't want to either close the door on the possibility that Bryce Young has a good career at some point. So potential is a tricky word, but there still is actual potential there. But that would be very disappointing, to say the very least, if the Bucs were to allow that to happen. If they allow it to happen and they win the game anyway, then whatever. But if that happens, there's a good chance they would lose, and that would probably, when after the Texans game, I kind of thought, that's the type of game that can get people fired. Now I look at it a little bit differently, just watching Houston a little more the last few weeks, looking at their the whole picture for the Texans. But Carolina's another story. They're a 1-10, 1-9 football team. They barely pulled out that one win even. Frank Reich, who I always liked as a head coach in Indy, obviously is not the same guy he once was, or maybe he never was as good as I thought he was. But yeah, you can't drop a game to them and expect to retain your job next year, because that would put you out of the division run.
Yeah, Joey, we're gonna get your thoughts on this one. The Bucs would have faced rookie quarterback after rookie quarterback after rookie quarterback if Anthony Richardson didn't get hurt. That's how their schedule shook out. Because we faced CJ Stroud a couple weeks back. We play Bryce Young 2 out of the next 4 weeks or so, or something along those lines. We faced Will Levis a couple weeks back when me, you, J-Lo, and the family went to the game. This week, we would have been facing Anthony Richardson. As a Colts fan, Joey, and knowing the Bucs struggles against younger and rookie quarterbacks, do you think that is a big benefit to the Bucs that they're actually not seeing Anthony Richardson in this game? I know we've given Minshew his flowers, but given the Bucs struggles against guys like CJ Stroud, Danny Dimes a couple of years back, and a lot of the young quarterbacks, as KB actually says, if Richardson was saying, we know how this game would end, does it hinder you and your mindset not having the big fella for this game?
Well, first off, being in an all Bucs room, I just want to put up my Colts. I am a Colts fan here. So for the people see me, I'm just in Tone's lair. So I'm in Bucksville over here, which is great, but not great.
He's lying. I've never seen that room in my life before.
Oh my God, there's not an inch of things without Bucs. I mean, it's great, but it's just not great for this week. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. It does help to see a quarterback, that's been in the league a while. Obviously, the reason backup quarterbacks are backup quarterbacks is because usually after they're thrown right into a fire when the first guy gets hurt, things go well. But as defenses catch up and move on, they get used to somebody like a Gardner Minshew. I remember last year for Philly, he lit it up in a game on Thanksgiving, and then the next week played home against New Orleans, and New Orleans just shut him down. So once you get a few weeks of the backup quarterback under your tape, it will be an advantage to the Bucs. But here's where I see an advantage to the Colts as well. I know that secondary is banged up. I like Carlton Davis, but Jamal Dean's a wet paper bag at times when he's on the field. So if I'm the Colts and I'm Gardner Minshew and Shane Steichen this week, I'm dialing up the big play actions right away, right from the beginning of the game, and testing out the secondary. I'm using Josh Downs down the field. I'm trying to get Michael Pittman acclimated with Alec Pierce and others. I'm trying to see if that vertical game down the field can get elaborated against these Bucs defensive backs who they have. If you look on paper, this Bucs defense should be top 10 in my eyes with the names I see, whether you go Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett, you can go on Levante
Not to mention
David.
our head coach is a defensive-minded head coach.
Exactly. If I just looked at it on paper and it's Madden, this should be a top 10 defense. But for some reason, things just always don't add up in a season, whether it's injuries, whether it's lackadaisical play or what have you. I do see it as an advantage, but I can see it as an advantage to the Colts too, because I think coming off the bye week, they watch a lot of Bucs tape, obviously, and we'll see who could win. I think if Colts can make a couple of big plays, I'm talking the splash plays, 40-plus yards, I think they have a good shot to win this game. If they can't make a couple of those, they will not win this game, and the Bucs can cover things up and put that bare front in the box.
Yeah, and KB agrees with you. Says play action and screens to Pittman will be big for Colts, as the guest is saying. So he agrees with you there, Joey. And then he says, got to get doggos out before the game starts. Have a good one, fellas. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in with us this morning, KB. Go get those dogs out. You don't want them crying at the table for the turkey and the yams later. You want to make sure those puppies are good to go, ready to roll, and really ready for Thanksgiving. But thanks again, KB, coming, hanging with us. It's been a fun one, and we got to have you on the program here in the near future. You've been on plenty before. We'd love to have you back, so we'll be in touch there for sure, KB. Cats, we have a couple questions from our favorite Canadian, Steppen Peppin. First one we'll give to you. If we lose badly against the Colts, does Todd Bowles get fired? My simple answer is going to be no, because the Glaziers don't fire people middle of the season. As Stunna was going to get the next question, but he just popped off. We'll see if we get him back. But Cats, this one for you. Todd Bowles gets fired if we lose badly to the Colts. I don't see that happening based on the Glaziers' history of being a little bit patient with these guys.
Yeah, no, he won't. He would not get fired if they lose, even if they're blown out.
Yeah, I agree with that. We could lose 56-3, and I don't think Bowles would get fired, just because that's not how the Glaziers move. They're people of respect and integrity, and they're going to give you at least a full season to finish the job at hand, whether you do it poorly or greatly. It benefits either way eventually, right? Because we all want to see the Bucs in the playoffs. But what good would it do to fire Todd Bowles?
Well, we were an 0-6, 0-7, 0-18. People took out a billboard to fire a coach, and they didn't fire him. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be fired, actually, now when I look back at all of that. You know who I'm referring to. So, yeah, they're certainly not gonna do that with Todd Bowles. They didn't do it with Greg Schiano, and they're not going to do it with Todd Bowles either.
And, I hate the hate that Schiano gets. I love Greg Schiano. I think he gets undeserved hate. And Cat's friend of the program, Anthony Gator, former Buck, was on the show a good amount of times. He said Schiano is actually his favorite coach he's ever played for.
I heard that he's not the only one. Gerald McCoy liked him quite a bit too. There was some respect for him. There was, unfortunately, not everyone's going to like you, and there were enough that really disliked him. Enough players that really disliked him, and simply put, when you look back at Greg, and he actually admitted this, he's like, you know what, was not meant to be an NFL head coach. I'm meant to be either a college coach or a defensive coordinator, and that's it. But he didn't hire himself. The Glazers hired him. They maybe, overstepped a little in terms of, wanting someone to micromanage things, but that's what they hired him to do. That's what he did. His, game management was not great, but otherwise, I thought it was a little bit over. Some of the hate for him as a person was it was over the top. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it was, some things were over the top, but Schiano, when he's one of our better head coaches of the past 15 to 20 years, that's probably saying something about who the Bucs are making the decision to be head coach. But I agree. I actually like Schiano. Guys like Michael Bennett and whatnot did not. And since Bennett was a fan of, or, you know, a fans type of guy. A lot of people turn on Schiano, but nor here or there. Real quick, J-Lo, we got a lot of questions and comments coming in from Eric Moreno and the gang. J-Lo, thoughts on Donnie Pepin, Steppin' Pepin, saying we do have a history of losing to rookie QBs? We surely do, so maybe it's a blessing that Richardson is out for us today.
Yeah, probably. We just love playing rookie quarterbacks to make them look like Pro Bowlers. But at the same time, I wouldn't look past Gardner Minshew. If you remember the 2019 game against Jacksonville, when he came in the game, he almost brought them back and beat us. I won't forget that game. So I wouldn't overlook Gardner Minshew at all. And it really doesn't matter at this point who we play. You know, you got to go out there and play your best football, no matter who's at quarterback.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Is Eric, friend of the shows, he called in a couple weeks back on a Friday, was incredible. Says, looks like LVD Dean will be out. Hoping Devin White can play Sunday. He played all the snaps against the 49ers. He seemed fine after the game. Devin White's been an interesting one this season. It seems like he's been battling injury. I remember against the Eagles on Monday night, he seemed a little banged up after getting an interception. Something's obviously a little wrong with Devin White this year to me. He seems a little slower than usual after those first couple of weeks. Cats, real quick thoughts on what Eric is saying. You know, Devin White, he's a guy that doesn't show when he's hurt, really. But to me, something has to be slowing Devin White down this year. Or is this just more so the Devin White being Devin White at this point?
No, I mean, if they're listing him on the injury report, then something's bothering him. It was his groin at the beginning of the year, and it might still be something that kind of went away and then came back a little bit. The one I'm looking at most importantly, because I had a feeling Dean would be out, and Levante is unfortunate. But again, it's a groin injury for a linebacker. It's very nagging. I did hear what's encouraging for me is I heard Carlton Davis was limited, but he did practice today, and that's a good, or was it yesterday? Whatever day it was, that's a good sign to me, because if he practices tomorrow, he'll play. Because if you're down both starting corners, not saying that Carlton's had the greatest of seasons, but if you're going to be without him and Jamel Dean, you'd be putting Zion McCollum and to help me out. I don't know who the other corner would have to be. D.
Delaney would probably step into the other corner role, and then
Delaney.
Yeah, then Izzy.
Yeah, you don't want to lose both of them. That's a lot to ask for if you're without both of them, regardless of the seasons they're having. So that elevates everyone else into a higher role. So yeah, I do hope Devin White can play though, nonetheless. And of course, I hope that Carlton Davis can play. Unfortunate on Levante and Jamel Dean though.
I couldn't agree more. Eric, happy Thanksgiving, guys. God bless. God bless you, brother. We hope you have an incredible Thanksgiving day. Hey, and Eric, I see you on X. I see you on Twitter. Keep being you, my friend. I know a lot of, you have some great questions. You got some great input on there. Keep feeding into X. Keep feeding into Bucs Twitter. Keep that machine rolling and running, brother. We appreciate all your stuff. Dr. Plus, happy Thanksgiving, my friends. Have a great day and weekend. Thank you, Doctor. We hope you're serving up some patience this weekend on Bucs film and breakdown and talking them into some wishful Thanksgiving type of things. We love you, brother. It was great hanging with you a couple weeks back. And we'll have many more fun times in the future. And he says, I hope Devin White sits, let others play. Can't be worse. That's true. Whether it's Servachier, Dennis, KJ Britt, or JJ Russell, we have 3 young backup linebackers, none with a ton of experience, but maybe it's good to get one of those young pups some experience, right? And see if they can right the ship in the future. I'm a big JJ Russell fan. I know he had a little bit of experience against the Colts last year, played in Indianapolis in that preseason game. So he's, familiar with playing in Indy. And this week the Bucs promoted J.J. Russell to the active roster. So I'd really be interested to see J.J. Russell get some action. I'm a big J.J. Russell guy. Not that I don't like Britt or Servachier, but, I like J.J. Russell more than the rest. And I've seen nothing but beautiful plays from J.J. when he is in there on a limited basis. But speaking of beautiful, Joey has a Baker Mayfield tattoo he'd like to mention. I don't think it's too beautiful. At least the spot of it's a little nasty and irritable, but it is a beautiful tattoo, I must say. So let me get my earmuffs and Joey could talk about his tattoo quick. But Joey, Baker Mayfield tattoo story for story time. Let's hear it.
That's interesting.
Well, because first off, I wanted to say there's a lot of Baker Mayfield haters. I am not one of those. I just look at I'm a statistics guy. The guy's got 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. I like what I see off the top. But yes, I did lose a bet a few years back when he was in college against JT Barrett in Ohio State. We were feeling pretty good. Let's say we had a couple Diet Cokes, and instead of betting money on the game, I bet initials. So if the Baker Mayfield would have won the game, I would have had to get BM. And if JT Barrett would have won, my buddy would have had to get JT. So little behold, I will not show it live on camera, but BM, Baker Mayfield, will be applied to me for the rest of my life. So I'm always going to be a huge Baker Mayfield fan. And and to get a little more serious on the topic, it's interesting to me, right? On the one side, you're talking Bucs corners who could be out. The Colts' strength is not wide receiver, obviously. You all know Michael Pittman, especially his father. They're bull horses. They run hard. They do great things. But at the end of the day, Michael Pittman is still not your Jamar Chase or other guys out there who are fully explosive. So if you guys are going to be down some people, that might not fully hurt you. But in my eyes, maybe we could take advantage of that. Now, if you go to our cornerbacks, we are out 2 starting corners. We do have one of the best slot corners in the game in Kenny Moore, who had 2 pick sixes against Bryce Young a couple weeks ago. He'll probably him and the linebacker Zaire Franklin, who deserves notice, number 3 in tackles in the NFL. I think they can limit Godwin greatly. Where I'm very afraid is Mike Evans from Baker Mayfield. I think they should test the Colts corners early and often, start with the easy routes, get Evans involved, and then start to push it downfield. Because no matter what the Colts can try, we do not have one corner or even 2 people who can really keep up with Evans at the end of the day right now. So that's what, to me, they should attack the most. The middle of this Colts defense is the heart of it. DeForest Buckner, you guys try and throw a little dump passes over the middle. Nah. DeForest Buckner will be batting down balls all day from Baker that way with Zaire in the middle. So I think you got to take advantage of my boy Baker, who's with me for the rest of life. Get it to Mike Evans. And honestly, I don't want to see the season thrown away for Tampa. I don't know what they'll do next year at the quarterback position, but to end my rant on Baker Mayfield, I think at least to this point, you can't say he's for sure not the quarterback going forward, at least on a 1 or 2 year deal. I still think these last 7 games mean a lot, and I hope he has success, not this weekend, but I hope he has success the rest of the season to where he can be a major factor in the Bucs quarterback room next season.
Yeah, and performances like Steppen Peppin's guessing he might be back next season, as Steppen Peppin says Mayfield player of the game, 347 passing yards, 21 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. That'd be quite the incredible game. We're going to tiptoe into the injury report here in a little bit. But Eric has some Rays talk. He says unfootball related.
Oh, Eric.
Yep, we love our man there. But Katz, what say you on the Wander thing?
Yes, I do believe that's what's going to happen, but I try not to think about it. But yeah, I've kind of, that is my belief, just based, since I'll have to elaborate a little on that, just based on putting things together, is given how long it's been now with no seizing of his assets and no extradition orders on him, while he goes and enjoys himself on Instagram doing normal things, but normal things, very active up there. Correct. I believe that ultimately that's what's going to happen. I don't want to say much more on the topic, though, but I will agree with Eric on that.
Yeah, and he gives you a shout out. Shout out to Andy. So
thank you, Eric.
Eric, we love having you in the chat, so thanks for that. Always spruces it up a bit, and we're going to turn back to the pigskin, but I do love the baseball talk. And Cats, if anyone ever has J-Lo sees Let's Go Blue Jays and gives a middle finger. But if anyone ever has any Tampa sports questions in general, whether it's Rays, whether it's Lightning, whether it's Bucs, Katz is a damn historian. So Katz will know the facts. He'll bring the truth to the table, and he'll let it be heard. So Katz, that's why we love having you around, brother. I call you the Tampa sports historian, because odds are you know it or you know what's coming. Peppin, Steppen, sharing hockey. No, we're talking football, damn it. Talk Bucs stuff. Get the hell out of here with the Leafs.
Kick him out of here, bro. Kick him out of here. Enough with this Toronto bullshit.
Nah, we'll welcome him with open
arms.
Yeah.
No. Hey, question for you guys from and I know randomly throwing this in here, but getting back to the pigskin, if I always like to ask the opposing team this during the week because you guys are much closer and know it better than myself. If you guys are the coaching staff this week sitting and you're watching the Colts tape, where do you feel if you could shut down this player or this area or this position group that you feel confident about winning this game? What do you feel like is a must to do to accomplish the victory this Sunday?
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and sprinkle into that. We were going to get into our score predictions and things and
even better.
And things and
It's a
players.
great
to look
question,
out.
though.
Yeah, we're going to get into that right now before we get into our score prediction and players of the game. So that transitions us pretty well. I'll start, and then we'll go to Cats and go to J-Lo. I guess if we could say one thing that we have to shut down or one position group for the Colts that we have to shut down, it's going to sound like a weird one to me, but I'm honestly going to say shut down their special teams. I'm going to say, make Matt Gay not have a lot of field goal attempts because, Matt Gay is going to make a difference in this game, kicking against his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, the Colts run game doesn't really concern me. As great as that running back duo is, might be the best in the NFL for that matter. This Bucs run defense is just incredible. You got Vita Vea, you got Kalijah Cansey, you got Anthony Nelson. You got a lot of good run stuffers, William Golston, etc. So I'm going to say there's special teams. Their punter, Rigoberto Sanchez, is one of the better punters in the league. Their kicker, Matt Gay, is the highest paid kicker and has an absolute cannon of a leg. And the Bucs special teams really hasn't been great in 4 or 5, honestly, like 3 decades now. We can go all the way back. So I think special teams will have a big play in who wins this game. And I think if the Bucs could outperform them on special teams, I think we'll actually win this game because I think the offenses, will put up near decent performances. I think that the Bucs offense and Colts offense will kind of move the ball all right. Neither will have too much success. Neither will have too many bad plays. And I think both of our defenses will kind of hang around, make some plays here and there. So I'm really looking at the third phase of the game, special teams, and see who wins the special teams battle. To me, whoever wins the battle of special teams tomorrow or Sunday, sorry, I keep thinking it's a Saturday. Yesterday felt like a Friday, damn it, but that's a good thing. I think Sunday, whoever wins the battle of special teams personally, I think that's who wins this game. Cats, if you could look at one thing to slow down on the Colts side of the ball or one player, one phase of the game, who would it be for you?
I'm going to go to the defensive side. I think you got to make sure that DeForest Buckner's not wreaking havoc in your backfield and on your quarterback. You got to take care of him. I remember him with the when he was with the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken, and now he's with Indy. A very dangerous player, and if you don't take care of him, make sure that he's not wreaking havoc, then you're going to have a hard time offensively. So that's my key for the Bucs.
J-Lo, we have DeForest Buckner, which is a great point by Cats because with Baker Mayfield's height, and we've seen it a couple of times this year, he sometimes has trouble getting the football over that defensive line, and Buckner's one of those guys that hover over you, so great point there,
I think
Cats.
he's the tallest defensive tackle in football, honestly. I literally think he's the tallest, like in terms of reach.
He looks like he's he looks like he's in one of those, like, the cartoons back in the day where they create those robot big outfits, big costumes. It looks like DeForest Buckner's just like one of the
Monstar from Space Jam.
He looks huge. He's like opposite, like him and Vita are mammoth, but Vita's more mammoth in terms of like a mass unit. DeForest Buckner is mammoth in terms of height. J-Lo, outside of DeForest Buckner, outside of special teams, where are you looking to shut down in this one?
I'm going to go back to the Colts defense. I think Baker Mayfield needs to get the ball going and go after the DBs. Where we're starting at DB, safeties, get Chris Godwin the ball more. I think he's very effective on the short routes, getting open and then running up the field, getting more yards. That's where I feel like it's all about Mike. And I love that he's getting the flowers, but at the same time, Godwin needs to get the ball more, and I feel like that's what Baker Mayfield needs to do. He needs a bit more chemistry with Chris Godwin to get him the ball. Then you put more heat on that defense, DeForest Buckner's going to be hard to deal with. He's like freaking Debo from freaking Friday. That's what he reminds me of. Going to take your damn lunch money like Yaya Diaby. But long story short, I say Baker needs to get it going and go after those DBs on the Colts. If he can move the ball down the field on a 49er defense last week, and he did pretty well doing that, he just couldn't capitalize the last 2 red zone drives, then I'm very confident that Dave Canales got a game plan to help the defense out and get these boys the ball. And one more sleeper, K. Dotton. I think he's a very underrated tight end. Receiving wise, not the best blocker, but when that man catches the ball in space, he makes the grabs. I mean, he missed one last week against the Niners.
A big one, damn it.
I know. It's hard. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He can make it up for this week. Make the damn catches. Take advantage of these DBs. Get Mike the ball. Get Chris the ball. Utilize your 2 highest paid receivers on the team and Trey Palmer, sprinkle them in there, But at the end of the day, I feel like get Chris Godwin more involved with Mike Evans and pick apart the DBs.
Yeah, and speaking of DBs, our favorite Canadian, Stephen Pepin, says we have to take advantage of their weak corners. So that'll bring us to the injury report really quick. We're going to talk about the Colts side of things first and then go over the Bucs before we get to score predictions, player of the game predictions, Thursday games, and our final words. Still got a good time here in the Buccateers. Joey, looks like Juju Brents is dinged up, Colts rookie corner, who's actually been pretty impressive for the season to me thus far. So that things up the Colts secondary a little bit. He did not participate with the quadriceps injury. Then you got Ryan Kelly limited with the concussion. Drew Ogletree didn't participate with the foot. He's been out a couple weeks now, I believe, at this point in time. Grant Stewart, former Buccaneer, did not participate with an illness. He was actually Mr. Irrelevant on the Bucs a couple drafts back. I was a big Grant Stewart guy. He gave you everything he got. Super Bowl champ with us as well, so cool to see him over in Indianapolis. And then Rodney Thomas was limited with the knee, banged up as well. So, Joey, any concerns on the Colts injury report? I know Juju Brents is hurt to maybe shore up their injuries a little bit, but outside of that, it doesn't seem like too lethal of one.
Well, here's the thing. Ryan Kelly is on he's had multiple concussions in his career. He has been one of the best centers in the National Football League this season. If he cannot go, that is very concerning. The backup did fine against New England, but you are not going up against Vita Vea and Kalaya Kancey and whoever else they might throw in the inside. We need Ryan Kelly to manhandle this offensive line and really start things up front, because if we do not have him, I just feel like Vea and Kancey are going to be attacking the middle, and that way you guys won't have to blitz as much. You guys can bring that pressure with 4, letting those corners be more protected, that you guys have some injury problems / just Davis and Dean always not playing well. So to me, it is key. If Ryan Kelly is out, the Bucs should be able to take advantage with their front 4, and that worries me, because if you can drop 7 against Minshew, that's a lot more lethal than having 5 back there and bringing a blitz, because Minshew can move around a little bit. So to me, Ryan Kelly is the biggest one. It will not be announced until Friday or Saturday if he can play, because they take concussions now so serious to the last second. So that to me is my biggest concern on the injury report from a Colts perspective.
Yeah, and J-Lo, let's get your thoughts on the Bucs injury report here quick. You got Levante did not participate. Carlton, limited participant. Jamel Dean did not participate. Godwin, limited participant. Robert Hainsey, limited participant. Ryan Neal, full participant. Devin White did not participate. And then Wirfs, full participation. What lights up your eyes on that list, J-Lo, out of all of that good stuff? Or bad stuff, I should say, because that's a grocery list.
This might sound mean, but it's kind of scary that Ryan Neal's practicing. Because you already know if he's not going, they're going to move Didolini to outside corner to help out Zion McCollum. And we're going to see that wonderful fella out there, safety, trying to play coverage. And that's going to be a key for the Colts, Gardner Minshew, to go after him. If they watch, the film on our defense. But Robert Hainsey is a big one, because, I don't think Nickel Everett would do a better job at center at this point. And that's another thing, Robert Hainsey, to me, has regressed. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's definitely not the same center I think we saw last year. So if he doesn't play, then you got Nickel Leverett going in there at center, and I guess DeForest Buckner. If you don't remember, 2 years ago, DeForest Buckner manhandled him because Ali Marpet went down with an injury. So that to me is going to be scary because then that means Baker's going to be doing a Gardner Minshew, Uncle Rico, running for his life, trying to get rid of the ball. We don't want that. We want to be able to balance the offense and get, our playmakers the ball, like Rashad White, who pretty much put that safety from the 49ers on the shelf already with his little shake and bake move.
Tore his ACL right out of his leg.
That was sick, dude. I mean, I don't wish injuries on players, but when I watched that replay, I was like, ooh, Rashad.
He put him on ice skates, literally. Cats, J-Lo kind of mentioned it. Ryan Neal returning, full participant. Does that concern you at all that Ryan Neal is making his way back to the field? I mean, Joey knows, Pops, and everybody who watches Bucs football, they heard one name keep getting beat like a drum to begin the year. That was Ryan Neal. Nice guy, really nice guy, but, nice guys don't win you football games. Let's just put it like that.
Well, it doesn't overly concern me. I mean, I knew that if he got healthy, he'd be back in there. I can't even recall, did we beat the Titans with or without him? I think he played. Did he play that game? When did he even get hurt? I can't even remember now.
It was a Titans game. It was a Titans game.
Was it the Titans game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all right. It's the Levante injuries, obviously, for me, is the most concerning, just because he's the heart and soul of your defense. And it might, I don't know if it'll encourage Indy to think they might be able to run the ball a bit better. Because obviously, if Indianapolis can run the football, we're going to be in some trouble if they're actually able to run the ball against us. So I don't know if Levante not being in there will enable the Colts to run the football better. That can't happen. So that's the biggest concern to me. About Hainsey, I did not realize that he was limited or on the report. I honestly didn't look at it. I didn't think anything was too serious with him. I could be wrong, though. You really don't want to be down on offensive lineman either, but the Levante injury is certainly most notable and concerning for me.
Yes, I agree. The Levante, and it seems like worse should be okay. As our Canadian Steppen Peppin says, "Happy Thanksgiving, go Bucks! You can't kick me out. We want to kick you out for your fandom. Don't worry, we'll just knock you around. So don't worry, brother. But we must have lost Stunna here. At least we got Stunna's score prediction. It's time to give our score and player of the game predictions before we end with our Thursday football extravaganza and some other talk. Stunna said 27-24. Steppen Peppin said 32-21. Both have the Bucs winning. Joey, you're a Colts guest. What say you? Who you got on top, and on either side of the ball, Bucs or Colts? Who's your player of the game?
Well, of course, I have to go with Indy here. It kind of stinks, especially for our Pops who roots for both teams, that it's such a big game for both teams. Being a non-conference game, you usually don't say that, but this being late in the season, it's shit or get off the pot time. So my score prediction will be Colts 24, Tampa Bay 17. I think this game is going to be won in the fourth quarter. It will not be decided early and often. But the player that makes a difference to me, and will be the player of the game and have a big one, is Michael Pittman Jr. I think they're going to find a way. They know Tampa's banged up back there. Even though Levante could be out, as ACATS mentioned, we will try to run the ball and establish it. But Shane Steichen, one thing that always happens with him, he will get a little pass happy at times, and I think he wants to take advantage of this Bucs secondary and try to get the ball to Pittman a lot. I think he'll get 8, 9, 10 catches and throw a touchdown in there. So I'll go again, Colts 24, Bucs 17. What will come down to the fourth quarter, and I'll give it to a man in a name you guys know well, with Michael Pittman Sr. I'll give the game ball to Michael Pittman Jr.
J-Lo, what say you? Any player of the game come to mind or anything like that?
Well, I'm going with the Bucs 31, Colts 28. I think will be a very fun game. I think it'll be an offensive heavy type game. I think both defenses are going to struggle, in my opinion, depending on injuries and all that. MVP of the game, I say Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to not be turnover free this week coming up, and I think he's going to get the ball in the red zone. I think they're going to pick up where they left off from last week and actually get in the end zone and score. And I'm confident in this team coming in, even though we're going to be missing some injured players. But you know what? sometimes you guys see the young Bucs go in there and get their experience right then and there. And why not go against a team like the Colts with Gardner Minshew, Uncle Rico in?
Uncle Rico. So 31-28. Baker, your player of the game. Cats, what's your score prediction and player of the game, brother?
I'm going to go 24-21 Bucks, and Vita Vea is my player of the game. I think with Levante out, you still need to be strong up the middle, and thankfully Vita is available. And I think he's going to have a big game, maybe help stop the run game of the Colts and get some pressure on Gardner Minshew. So Vita Vea is my player of the game.
And I'll be wearing my Vita Vea pewter jersey, as the Bucs will be in pewter that day. For those unsure, the Bucs announced they're going to be wearing the all pewter uniforms at the Colts. Pewter pants, pewter tops. It's going to be pewter power on the Bucs' behalf on Sunday. I like that Vita Vea pick a lot. I'm going to lean with an under the radar one, who's a great member of the Bucs community for years now. And he does a hell of a job shutting down the run as well. And he's been playing a little bit more over the past couple of weeks in a row. Give me big William Golston to make a huge play in this game. He had a big interception earlier this year against the Buffalo Bills. He's made some huge tackles, and he's really one of the best guys, if not as J-Lo just did his dance as well. He's really one of the best guys in the Bucs community, both on and off the field. Been a member of the Bucs for a decade now. I just love big Will Golston, and his engine's always running, and he's one of my favorite Bucs players to date. So give me Will Golston as player of the game. And I'm going to go with the Bucs. And, I said special teams earlier. Give me Will Golston with an extra point or field goal block in this one. I think big Will Golston gets his hand on one of those. He's kind of like a DeForest Buckner type build, right? He's a big mammoth guy. He's just a lot older than Buckner, sadly. So, he doesn't have that explosiveness anymore. But he's still the man. Give me the Bucs winning 26-24 as Will Golston blocks the game-winning field goal off the foot of Matt Gay as the Bucs win this one by 2 as time expires. 26-24 with the Will Golston field goal block in this one. Gentlemen, time to talk a little Thanksgiving before our final words and walk-offs. We have 4 games today. There's 4 of us. Again, I don't know what the hell happened to Stunna. Maybe he had to capture the turkey and cook it. But we'll talk about that as Pop shared a cool story as well. John Madden was the best at cutting up turducken. So, I'm turducken, and that, if for those unfamiliar, that's turkey, duck, and chicken all put into one. And remember John Madden, hey folks, back in the day, I'm going to carve up the turkey, I hand it out, boom, Thanksgiving. So we're going to do our Thanksgiving segment now and carve up our own turducken here. And we're each going to get one game to go with and give our thoughts on that game and a player to stand out from that game. We'll start with Joey, then we'll go to J-Lo, then we'll go to Cats, and with me. Joey, you'll get the first game of the day, Lions-Packers. J-Lo, you're going to get the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Cats, you're going to get the Commandos against the Cowgirls, and I'll end it with Seattle, San Fran for our Thanksgiving talk. Joey, start us off with the start of the day, Lions-Packers. One of the Thanksgiving specials. Lions are a traditionalist on Thanksgiving. This game is 12:30 Eastern time. And the Lions always play on Thanksgiving. And will they continue their tradition today? Will they win today or will they lose today? What's your thoughts on that game?
I think they'll win today's game. Spread-wise, I'm not sure, though. Last week, the Bears went into Detroit and should have simply won that game if it wasn't for former Colts defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, who should be canned immediately. The Bears could have won that football game. Dan Campbell has cut it close. A couple weeks back, he went for it on a 4th and 1 in enemy territory when he could have kicked a field goal. He said, nah. He went for it, and he got the touchdown to beat the Chargers. So he's winning close games lately. I do think this comes back to bite him later in the year, maybe in the playoffs, but not right now. This Green Bay team, it's not very exciting football to watch them play. They try to muck it up because of what they have available. Jordan Love, the running game, it doesn't seem to always get going. That being said, they did get a win last week against the Chargers. I think the Lions do win this game, but the spread's at 8.5, a little too rich for my liking. I think the Lions get out 27-20 Detroit.
Yeah, I think the Lions do have the advantage in this battle. Packers have played a little helter-skelter football. And, yeah, I agree with you, the Lions, and I think that one should be a fun game to start. I said J-Lo will go next, but we'll stick with the order of the games here. We'll actually send it to ACATS next because the second game of the day is Cowboys Commandos, and that game will be 4:30 Eastern time today. Cats, thoughts on Commandos Cowboys? Commandos lost a heartbreaker last week against the Giants to really buckle their season, it seems, but big underdogs today. Do you have any hopes that the Commandos keep it close?
They tend to play. It seems like, other than they lost 2 games to the Giants, but a lot of other games that Washington has played in this year, they've kept it close. They nearly pulled off an upset in Seattle. They've had some games, so I could see them keeping this game close. I don't know what is the spread on this? 10, 11, 12?
It's up
What
to
is it?
13 and a half.
13 and a half. That's a big number. So I'm not a gambler really, but I actually do think Dallas. I think Washington will hang in there for a while, but ultimately I think Dallas wins this, something like 37 to 20, something like that.
As Neil gives his score prediction, Bucs 26, Colts 17, Evans 3 touchdowns. That would be wild. As Nana says, Cleve and me. J-Lo, we turn to our third football game of the day. Ole Miss, the 12th best team in the country, travels to Mississippi State. Mississippi State 10-point underdogs. If they win, they're in a bowl game. And Ole Miss is 9-2 on the year, 12th ranked team in the country. So this one is a lot of the line. They call it the Egg Bowl. This one's at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. I think this is one of my favorite college rivalries in the lay of the land, the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. You got Mississippi State upsetting them, J-Lo, and making their way into a bowl game, or you got Ole Miss continuing their high-powered season?
As I'm looking over the results of the games that they recently played, Mississippi State, Will Rogers looks like he's pretty talented. I mean, 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. They're at home. Could be a trap game for Ole Miss. I think they're trying to go for a New Year's Six bowl game. I say it will be close because it's in Mississippi State. I feel like the fans are going to get behind it because it's rivalry week. But I see Ole Miss pulling out the win, going on the road in a tough one. I say about 35-31 because Ole Miss, they got some high-power players too as well on offense. I feel like both defenses are not very talented, not very good. So I expect a good rivalry game. But I like Ole Miss on the road in Mississippi State. And I think they fired their coach, Mississippi State.
They did. And it was his first year after the Mike Leach era.
RIP. Yeah, so that's another thing, another reason why it could be a trap game, because maybe they'll play pride and try to impress the next head coach who takes the job, which I think could be Jimbo Fisher. I'm going to throw out there, but anyway.
Jimbo Fisher going to Mississippi State. That would be interesting.
Because they'll throw the money at him. He can recruit. He just couldn't get it going to A&M. And I think if Mississippi State was smart, they'd go after him and throw whatever they want at him and try to compete in the SEC West or the big SEC whenever A&M and Oklahoma comes over. Just want to throw that out there.
I think that would be interesting if Jimbo Fisher did go there. So 3 football games down, 1 to go. San Fran at Seattle, 8:20 Eastern tonight. This one's on NBC or Peacock. If you don't have cable, you could stream it on Peacock. 49ers are laying 7 points. Give me San Fran to win and cover that spread. I think they're playing good football right now. Geno Smith is a little banged up tonight. Kenneth Walker's been hurt the past couple of weeks. Some big stars on Seattle's side offensively hurt. Jamal Adams has never been healthy seemingly since they acquired him way back when. They just got a lot of injury problems right now. And, San Fran's really clicking on all cylinders after their mini 3-game skid earlier in this year. Brock Purdy seems to have really came into his own yet again. George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, and Deebo Samuel. Covering those guys is like trying to play a game of whack-a-mole. You never know who the hell is going to pop out, where they're going to come. So give me San Fran -7. In this beautiful Thanksgiving day of football, 4 games. We got you covered on all 4 of them there. real quick before our final word, we're going to do our Thanksgiving edition of our One Big Thing and Walk Off, where we bring up our favorite Thanksgiving food to the table or least favorite Thanksgiving food to the table. You gentlemen could pick either one, favorite or least favorite. Cats, will start with you here. Thanksgiving food, favorite or least favorite, brother? What say you?
Turkey is my favorite, and I especially like the leg area or the dark meat. And that's the juiciest area of the turkey. So that's really what if you can give me the turkey leg, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, man, that does sound nice. A big fat turkey leg right now, just munching on that. And I could just picture John Madden having one in his hand right now. Boom, this turkey for sure. Man, rest in peace to a legend. J-Lo, if you could pick a favorite or least favorite Thanksgiving Day food, what say you?
I gotta say the baked mac and cheese. I'm a big pasta guy. I like the baked mac and cheese. Turkey, if it's not deep fried or smoked, the traditional baking in the oven. I'll have to grab me some hot sauce. No disrespect to the cooks that I've ate in the past with on that. But the holiday ham I throw in there as a major entree, and then baked mac and cheese on the side.
I like all of the things you just said as well. Mac and cheese, holiday ham, turkey, as Kat said. Man, I'm starting to get hungry just thinking about all this. Joey, what say you? Least favorite or favorite Thanksgiving Day food, brother?
Well, everyone always gives, usually turkey a hard time, but I think it's just the best thing on the menu. Plus, you complement everything else that goes around it. My problem is getting to dessert after I get the nice plate going, because you got to have a little bit of everything, right? I mean, mashed potatoes you could have year-round, turkey, ham, whatever. You might see that at different holidays, but when you can get it all on the same plate and make a nice, a lot of people, if you don't snap it, did it really happen? But for me, I just put it in my stomach and move on to the next one. So I look for the complement of the meal. And sadly, dessert falls short because I don't have enough room for it usually.
Yeah, I do hear you there. Dessert, you got to save some room for dessert, but when you're eating all that mashed potatoes and turkey, could you really save room for dessert? Or do you have to do a little extra?
There's a way.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, do you have to do a little extracurricular activities in between dinner and dessert to get you back up in preparation for the dessert? You know what I'm saying? So,
you know how it is.
Maybe a little wacky tobacco incorporated in something like that. But I'm last but not least, I'm going to roll it out on the table, and I'm going to pick kind of a basic one, but I'm going to go with mashed potatoes and gravy for one of my favorite Thanksgiving Day foods. I just feel like it's classic. I feel like you could kind of mix in anything with mashed potatoes and gravy. It's one of those foods on the plate where if it touches a turkey, it's not a big deal. If it touches a green bean casserole, it doesn't take away from that. It's very giving in Thanksgiving season. Mashed potatoes are, because they're a team player on your plate, man. They're the MVP. They morph in any shape. They could really get on any food and not hinder the ability of that food. So give me mashed potatoes and gravy there, as we are on the Buccateers, and we're over an hour now. So we're going to give our final words as we did our Thanksgiving Colts Bucs special. It's been beautiful. Stunna was in and out. We've had J-Lo Cats, Joey Nips from the Cleveland Meat Podcast, and now it's time to say our final words and get on with our holiday special. Cats, thanks for tuning in, brother, especially on a holiday. Final word, brother, for Colts Bucs Thanksgiving Day in general, or just anything on your mind?
Yeah, well, hopefully the Bucs need a win this week. Hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and hopefully a very safe Thanksgiving. And for this weekend, I know tomorrow's Black Friday, so everyone, if you're out there shopping on the roads, please drive safely so I can get around on the roads without getting hit from behind or otherwise. Thank you.
Yeah, you might have a sedated grandma out there trying to get a PS4 for her little one, and not even being able to drive. But people go to crazy measures on Black Friday. So cats, be safe out there on the roads, brother. We need you in one piece here for the Buccateers heading into the Christmas, Hanukkah, and holiday season, as we're gonna have a ton of giveaways to give away. J-Lo, final word, brother.
Well, first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to every one of y'all on the show right now, and the rest of the Buccateers crew. Shout out to all the Bucs fans. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, enjoying watching other football games, enjoy your meals. And be thankful about something. Make sure you throw that in there. because at the end of the day, you're surrounded by family, food, which is like one of the best combinations with that, and then football. If you're a real football fan, hey, sky's the limit today. This is an awesome day. As far as Black Friday goes, fuck Black Friday. My ass is gonna be home, away from all that craziness, sleeping in because I'm probably gonna be a little beat up and hungover and bloated for all the food I'm about to consume later. I skip breakfast just to make sure I make room for that. That's how I play the game on Thanksgiving Day. But yeah, at the end of the day, I love all y'all guys. Y'all been so awesome, individuals. When I met you and your brother Joey, coming in town a couple weeks ago, y'all guys been nothing but family to me, and your parents as well. Like I said, God bless y'all both, and thank you for making me part of your guys' family.
Yeah, anyone is always a great add to the family, but you are awesome. Katz is awesome. Anyone on the Buccateers is just a brother of mine, so it's really a beautiful thing when I get to hang out with you guys, whether it's on a podcast or in person. It's always great, especially around the holidays. So incredible stuff, J-Lo. We appreciate you as well. Joey Nips from the Cleveland Me. He's had, Colts fever this show. Can't blame him. Let's see his final word. Joey, thanks for joining us, brother, and good luck come Sunday. And we'll be having some good munches this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know you don't mean the good luck, but let's be honest here. As a Colts fan, I have to come in strong. Anytime you face three elitists like yourself, you have to bring the noise. So that's number one. Number two, happy Thanksgiving to everybody here and whoever is listening. Everybody be safe. For some reason, we have a wedding tomorrow, so not only do I have to unstuff a turkey, I have to somehow fit in a suit, which is damn near impossible the day after a day like this. So a Good Friday wedding. It will be a good weekend, a blessed weekend that hopefully ends in a Colts victory. It's a shame it has to come down to this, Mr. Tones, as we will sign our distance into the light in different avenues after this week. But at the end of the day, everybody stay safe, have a good one, and enjoy your holiday.
Yeah, I think my button's going to pop off at the wedding table tomorrow and hit the spouse right in the nose or something like that after I have a belly full of turkey. My pants won't be able to. It's black. I guess it is Black Friday, so I could run to Target on the way down there. And
we should wear like sweats. We should wear sweats with a nice shirt.
Well, I'm trying to have a Christmas suit come in. Hopefully that fits if it does make it in. But regardless, it's been incredible talking to you, gentlemen. And the wedding. Yeah. The wedding, is going to be something, and I just want to say quick final word. Happy heavenly birthday to my grandma. It would have been her birthday today, and Thanksgiving's all about family, so, it always sucks when you're down a real one, and grandma was awesome and a real one, so love you, grandma. Hope Thanksgiving goes great up there for you today, and go Bucs, fire the damn cannons, 3-2-1, touchdown Tampa Bay, Chris Godwin over the middle, touchdown, and I really hope everyone has a blessed Thanksgiving. Again, enjoy it. You got Lions, Packers in 9 minutes. You got Cowboys against the Redskins in about 4 hours from now. Then you got the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State, Ole Miss in about 6 hours from now. And then you got Seahawks, 49ers in about 7 hours from now. Katz and J-Lo, have a great Thanksgiving, gentlemen. It's been a real fun Buccateers Thanksgiving special. Thanks everybody for making it, and stay safe out there today, gentlemen.
God bless, brothers. Stay safe, man. We love you.
God bless. Go Bucs.
Love you guys as well. God bless. Go Bucs. Fire the damn cannons. 3-2-1. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin knocks down the Colts. Until next time on the Buccateers, see you guys. It's been a real one. Thanksgiving special. We love you all. Stay blessed. Stay loyal. Stay faithful. Buccateers is out. Go Bucs. Fire the damn cannons. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Bucs fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.